Welcome to the Falcon News Podcast. Everything you need to know to ship like a pro. In this podcast, we will be sharing our true experiences, lessons learned, and challenges faced in the freight forwarding industry. Today, meet Patrick, the CEO of Falcon.
Today we're going to be discussing what do you need to know to ship like a pro. Hello, Patrick.
Good morning, Mary.
With your 30 years of experience, can you elaborate on this subject?
How to ship like a pro really is a very good question, because I've seen throughout the years a lot of my clients that were actually doing the job of a freight forwarder, which is to compare rates of different lanes for different containers, following up on their shipments door to door, making sure that the container is shipping on time, keeping the supply chain informed, the Department of Purchasing informed. You have a purchase manager coming down to logistics department, typical, where's my container? Where's my air freight? Why am I running out of inventory? So I always say to anyone that wants to know how is your company doing, in general, go down to the logistics department, because if it doesn't come in on time or it doesn't leave on time, then it's not delivered on time and there's something wrong with the process. And it always starts with supplies and ends with the finished product. So whatever is wrong within the supply chain, the logistics department will know and will be able to tell you exactly what's going on. I had a client of mine about 10 years ago. He was selling machinery for the pharmaceutical industry, so packaging machinery for the pharmaceutical, high-end machines built in Germany at a very high cost. And he did everything by air freight. So as soon as these machines, and these were big machines, about 2 meters wide by 2 meters high by 5-6 meters long, it was quite a big machine, very expensive, almost $1 million each machine, and they were flying all of these machines. So as soon as the machine was ready to be shipped in Germany, they would build a crate, bring it to the airport, and they would fly them all over across North America, U.S. and Canada. And I asked him, why do you do everything by air freight? And he told me, he said, well, as long as I keep the price of transport less than 10% of the price of the machine, I get away with it. So I just fly them to my end users, and they love it because they get it right away. And I said, so what happens with the machine then? Oh, well, when they have time, they, take the crate off and put it into production. So I said, so you're paying $50,000 to air freight these machines to your clients because it's within budget. But if I could do it for $10,000 within the same timeline, would you be interested in that? And he looked at me for a minute and says, well, you're talking ocean freight, because these crates don't fit in a container. I said, well, the container is your crate. And therefore, you can actually ship the machine only on a skid with a wrap on it, and then it fits in a container. And now you can ship this 20-foot container anywhere in North America within 2 weeks. And you don't need to build a crane, which takes you a week already. So how to ship like a pro is really not to play your freight forwarder's job. Your job is to go to your freight forwarder and ask him, I'm having this machine. I need to deliver it. I have this timeline to work with. These are the dimensions. What do you think? And then your freight forwarder, by asking you more questions, is able to guide you in the right direction, and you'll be shipping like a pro all the time. So he's really able to put an architecture together that will fit your needs, reduce inventory, deliver your product on time, increase sales, right? Because if the freight forwarder is an extension of your own company, we're responsible to pick up and deliver your products worldwide. So if we don't do our job, the clients, the suppliers, they will call you and say your freight forwarder is not doing his job and he's not keeping you informed. So to ship like a pro is really to understand everything that's within your organization and combine that with everything that can happen when you're shipping to make sure that you fit your client's needs. So with this particular client, for example, we were able to, you're shipping 50 machines a year at 50 grand. You went down to 10 grand. So they saved several millions of dollars within the first couple of years by shipping everything in a container. We were there within the same amount of time, choosing the right mode of transportation, and everybody were ecstatic because they were saving all these monies, and yet the end consumer was still very happy to see the machine because then they didn't have to uncrate it, spend 2-3 days to get rid of the wood. Now they just slid it out of the machine, and within a couple of days it was ready for production. So it's this type of collaboration with everyone in your supply chain, whether it's your suppliers, your purchasing manager, the marketing director, the salesman, to be at the same table talking about logistics, and include your freight forwarder. I always say, call me before, not after. It's much easier for me to solve a small problem than when it's the container's been sitting at the port for 3 weeks and no one knew about it. So to avoid that, you need the collaboration of everyone from door to door.
Do you have any other case studies that you wish to share with us?
Yes, I have. I actually there was so when you plan everything, because we've been discussing planning, right?
Yes.
About forecasting and all that, but we live in the real world, Mary, and we know that these things change every day.
Yes.
And whatever you planned this morning is out the window in the afternoon, and you need to go back to the drawing board. So there was one occasion of that. We had the mandate to bring a full truckload of ski equipment from Quebec to British Columbia in the middle of the mountains. So it was for a ski team, so young kids, going over there to practice before the season starts. So the only problem is that the guy that was in charge of this transport called me on a Friday, and he said, "So Patrick, we're ready for that truck, and we're flying out this weekend. We're going to be in BC by Tuesday." So we had planned everything. The price was acceptable, everything. But then he calls me last minute. I couldn't find a truck to save my life. Nobody, and you were crossing the country. It's a 4-day transit. Nobody, wanted this load. So I looked at my brother and I said, "Guess what we're doing this weekend? We're going to be crossing the country in a U-Haul." So we went down to the rental place in our village, and we told all the ski team to meet us with their gear Saturday morning behind the church in my village, and we filled the U-Haul. My brother and I, all the equipment was there, and we start to drive, and we drive for 3.5 days without any snow tires through the Great Lakes in the middle of November. It was quite an experience, but you have to do what you have to do. At the end of the day, if the client it needs is gear, you got to be there. And fair enough. On Tuesday morning, 9:00, they opened the door. The cargo was there, and my brother was tired and needed to get on the plane back home. But you can plan everything you want to plan, but at the end of the day, the cargo's got to move, and it is not abnormal to have these types of challenges arise several times per day.
So what would be some important points that you would like to share with us in order to be able, any company, to ship like a pro?
I think so. The main thing is to be aware, to get yourself informed about what, and don't be afraid to ask the question. I find a lot of people in logistics, they're the last one to know. Ship this, get that container. They're all human beings, and they all have. They can only do their job with the knowledge that they have. So I would say it's very important to ask the question to the purchasing team, to the marketing, to the salesman team, what was covered, what was not covered, go into the details. Is it really packaged in certified wood, for just as an example? So the more information you have, the more knowledge you have about what's going on within your enterprise, will help you guide your freight forwarder to provide the service you need to deliver the product in time. So it's really the biggest thing I think that helps my client is for them to always be informed about what's going on within when they're struggling. I can see that's because they're lacking information. They told me to pick up 10 containers out of Korea. They didn't tell me why, they didn't tell me when we need it, but I need a price for this. You're already going in the wrong direction. Everybody's working for no reason. Why do you need it? Why are these containers so urgent? When do they need to be at destination? Is it going into inventory or is it going into production? If you know this ahead of time, you're already winning. You're already shipping like a pro.
Well, Patrick, thank you very much for sharing your extensive knowledge with us in freight forwarding and shipping.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for listening. If you like this episode, please take the time to add your comments below and follow us. Go to falconfreight.ca to learn more.